Hello, everybody, and welcome to a new episode of Wine Library TV. I'm your host, Gary Vaynerchuk, and today we have a wonderful guest, a gentleman that we've been doing business with for a long time, Michael Havens. We've been carrying the Havens wines basically as long as I've been buying wine for the Wine Library. A good friend of mine, Noah Bass, has been representing these wines for a long time, and when we first talked way back in 90, who knows, the 92 vintage, 93 vintage wines, whenever that was, this was one of the 4 or 5 core wines that he sold me, along with several other really cool California wines. So I'm really excited to have Michael here. Michael, to me, is one of the great winemakers and wineries in Napa that a lot of people haven't heard of and a lot of people have. We have very passionate fans of the Havens wines. And so without further ado, Michael, welcome.
Thank you very much.
You. Why don't you let the audience know a little bit about Havens and a little bit about yourself before we get started?
Okay, very good. Well, after running away to Europe after high school, I fell in love with wine as well as meeting my wife there, and came back here. And after a short academic career, about 10 or 12 years, I fell for the bug completely, and we started Havens Wine Cellars in 1984 was our first vintage. We began with Merlot, and we actually made some wines we don't make anymore. Sauvignon Blanc and Chardonnay at that time. But we've always focused on Merlot, right bank sorts of blends in the southern end of Napa Valley, where it's cooler, soil is clay, so we think the terroir is right for it. And then beginning in 1991, we began with Syrah. So we're kind of the lunatic fringe in Carneros.
Well, if you've never had these wines, you definitely need to go out and try them. We've got a nice selection, and so let's just jump right into it. 2002 Merlot, Napa. Tell me about this wine.
Okay. This wine is about 8% Cabernet Franc. 2002 is a pretty warm year, so what that has resulted in is a wine that's relatively lush and forward. I think it's going to be a good, fun wine to drink for a lot of people. It has a little bit less of the, what do I want to say, the right bank sort of earthiness that is really the hallmark of our wines in general, and a little bit more splashy up front California fruit.
Yeah, the nose is very, very complex. A lot of fruit coming through on the nose. You can almost, taste the sweetness of the nose, That's quite nice. I get a little bit of black currant. Really nice, long finish, very complete. The acidity is well balanced with the fruit, which I like quite a bit. There's also a good amount of, a little bit of that oak bark. You're getting a little bit of that creaminess.
Yeah, it's a creaminess that a good oak treatment should lend to a wine.
That's a nice Merlot. It's a really complete Merlot. What's the suggested retail on the Merlot?
In California, that would be $24.
Got it. Really nice. Really nice. Let's move on. This right here has always been my favorite. When did you start making?
Borico, we started making in 1992. In 92, we decided to change from what we'd been making straight Cabernet Franc from 88 through 91. And there was a little interest in it, but straight Cabernet Franc is a
little boutique.
A little boutique.
2001.
So I always thought we made better wine by blending a little Merlot into it, and so we decided to go for that and make a proprietary blend. One of the wines that always excited me in Bordeaux tastings from the right bank were those that really featured a lot of Cabernet Franc.
Yeah.
So Magdalene, Ozone, and of course most famously Cheval Blanc. So this name, a Borico, is a mule, a stubborn horse, a person like that. And of course, it refers obliquely to Cheval Blanc. Instead of calling it White Horse or something silly, we came up with this name.
That's kind of cool. Again, 62% Cab Franc, the rest Merlot 38. Got tremendous terroir nose. You really can get the earth in the soil.
I swallowed that one.
I really like it too much. A lot of brightness As soon as, the real power came through right away.
Well, Cabernet Franc gives you that almost floral tobacco, fresh tobacco aroma, cedar.
They get a very dry cherry flavor as well.
Yeah.
That comes through. I wonder if that's coming from the Merlot. But yeah, the cedar and tobacco is quite obvious. This is a very complex wine. I mean, this is definitely on the young side. Even though it is drinkable at this point, this is definitely something you'd want to cellar and put away. I had some 95 very recently, and it was just showing tremendously. This has always been one of the value Meritage wines in all of California. This is a nice effort. It's really nice. Okay, let's move on. 2000 Syrah. Tell us a little bit about this. 2000 was a little bit of a tough vintage in California, or at least a lot of the critics think so.
Well, a lot of the critics did say that, but we actually think it was a very good vintage for us. I think a lot of the critics rate vintages on how
Cabernet.
big Cabernet that is hung out there until the very last minute, not in November, is rated. We were all harvested by then. We actually like our 2000s very much. And this is actually an interesting story
Funky nose.
that Noah still has some of these. This was unearthed in another market, and Noah likes it well enough that he brought it in. Yeah, we've got you have to think beyond California when you try our Syrah. If you think maybe to Cornas for this wine.
Okay.
It's got a lot of earthiness. It's got that humus character that you get in the mid-upper Rhone, Saint-Joseph or Cornas. So I'm not trying to make the big blueberry fruit bombs that the Central Coast does so well,
Right.
nor Australia, which is another thing entirely. My model is more French, but we still have California fruit in there. You can feel that there's some richness as well as that great earthiness.
This would definitely be a difficult wine for me to taste blind. I would never, ever guess that this is California Syrah. Once again, you definitely have more of that dry kind of terroir-driven aspect. You don't get any of that New World fruit at all. I would never guess California for this at all. You definitely do get more of that Northern Rhone kind of dry fruit that I'd like to call it. This is not for everyone. This is definitely very dry, and again, it's got more terroir-driven earth tone flavors. So you've got to really be prepared for this style of wine. This is a great food wine, for example.
Absolutely.
You're not going to really drink this all by itself that often. I mean, I would. This is kind of my style, but for most drinkers out there, for most people watching this video, this is the kind of wine you definitely want to pair up with a heavy meat, a steak, something that's got a lot of complexity, even something that's over-peppered comes to mind, because this can really cut through that.
Absolutely.
And real match up well.
Lamb goes great with lamb.
Yeah, I could see that. Anything gamey, definitely. Nice. And finally, a wine I've never had before, so I'm really excited about that. These three wines I've had a lot of experience with. I've probably had every vintage I can, since I've started in the wine business. This is a 2002 Black and Blue. And it has a great package. And I'd love to hear about this, since I have no clue what this is all about.
Okay. Well, it has a history.
Okay.
In 1992, we were selling a lot of wine to a guy named Manfred Krankel. He had a restaurant in Los Angeles called Campanile. It's Charlie Chaplin's old house. Great restaurant.
Pretty cool.
Manfred asked successively 3 different people to make him a special wine just for the winery, or just for his restaurant, rather. The first one was Brian Babcock, made him a very steely, earthy, Chablis-like Chardonnay. A guy named Capo in Piemonte made him.
Copo. Yeah, sure. The Barbera.
Yeah, he made him one with 3 antique varieties. Black and Blue was the third of those. Manfred did one of his great wild labels for it, and did a 500 case production, and it was quite successful. And we always thought we should do that again someday. And Manfred always said, "Oh yeah, you can do that, no problem." He talks kind of like the
Sure.
So in 2002, when we got back our Cabernet from a contract that we grow, we decided let's give it a try. So this is the 10-year anniversary return of Black and Blue.
And Manfred's gone on to obviously make Cinquenan, which is a very famous cold wine in California. This is a really great package too. On top of that, which I'm always into for the marketing. Let's taste it. What's the blend?
Blend is 50-50 Cabernet Sauvignon and Syrah. The original Black and Blue in '92 was 55-45.
Now this is incredible. Wow. Now, and the reason I'm excited about this, believe it or not, the last one was probably more my style, but coming from a marketing standpoint, from a standpoint of what most palates in the U.S. right now would enjoy, this has got the fruit, the complexity. I mean, it's just a bomb on the palate. Really ripe black fruit flavors for me. You know, the blueberry and the black currant and
Right.
the cassis. Wow, this is loaded with flavor.
This is a big boy.
This is a big boy. That's a great way to put it. This is a monster. What's the alcohol content? 15%.
Yeah. It's about the only time you'll ever see that much on the label with me.
Yeah, this
Is
is
with this wine.
this is not normally your complete style.
It is not. It's my extreme.
Yeah.
It's over on the edge.
Gotta have fun once in a while. Go
Yeah.
outside the box.
Yeah.
This is a tremendous effort and definitely one that I think would be extremely popular with most fans of the New World fruit, the California cold wines, the big Barossa, Shiraz. What suggested retail?
40.
40. I mean, this is a steal. I mean, once I get done hammering him after this video for a better price, we're going to be able to offer this at a ridiculous price quality ratio because to me, excuse me, this is at least a $75 value in what that style of winemaking is. To me, I'm going to rate this wine a 93. I would rate the Boroquai and again, this is by the standard Wine Spectator Robert Parker scale. I know we've debated quite a bit. I would go 93 here. I would probably go 91 over here, and I would have both of these wines in that 89 to 90 range. But this Black and Blue is just incredible. Something that I'm excited about trying. I can't thank you enough for being here on Wine Library TV, and we'll see you next time. Take care.